Shannon,
Hey!
long time no see.
Every
How
time
are
you
you?
say Shannon, I think I'm like scratching my head. I'm like, hey!
Yeah,
It's
well,
been too long.
it has been too long. I'm so excited. Brett's finally here. He
Yay! I
he
know.
relocated. He's with the Baltimore Ravens now. So sorry to everybody. We had to reschedule this podcast, but Brett, the legend, the mystery, the myth, Hundley is here. And before we get into it, I just want to read a little background for everybody out there.
Let's
Brett
do
Allen
it.
Huntley Jr. Are you ready? Shannon, you may take it away. You want to read it? You got it?
No, you take it away. I've got a
Here
little
we go.
raspy voice. So
Brett Allen Huntley Jr. I didn't know his middle name was Allen. Should we call him Allen? Allen?
I
I don't
didn't
tell
know that
anybody.
either when I was reading it.
Brett
Tell him.
Huntley Jr. is an American football quarterback for the Baltimore Ravens of the National Football League. He played college football for the UCLA Bruins, where he was the school's career leader in both total offense and touchdown passes. He was drafted by the Packers in the fifth round of the 2015 NFL Draft. Brett is currently with the Ravens and leads what we'll talk about later, I'm sure, is the Huntley Foundation. So, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, there he is.
Yay! All right.
Where's the roof, baby?
Raise the roof. You look like you just got your head sticking out the window. Did you just get a new haircut or something?
Yeah, for everybody who didn't see, this is a brand new style that I'm rocking till tomorrow, actually. Yeah, I feel like I have a big forehead and, just enjoying life here. Thank you guys for having me on.
I like it. I think it looks good. I'm all for it.
I love
Thank
it too. You're looking slick, man. Do the head twist like this. Let's see what
Yeah,
you got
let's
going
see
on in the
that.
back. Okay.
Yes, it's
Oh,
like
it is.
this is done by Paris, so I want to shout her out. But
Yes.
this my sister did this, and I just came back from Columbus visiting them, and we were just sitting there, and I was like, you know what, you want to braid this hair, and we got to trying this thing out.
I'm
and,
very
this is
impressed
new
with
for
her
me.
skills.
I am too. I
I
didn't
am
know.
too. Like I didn't either. She's done school. She's done it, but like this is the first time braids in my life. I mean, my dad would probably have a heart attack when he sees this because it's always been like a fade or some short hair, and I was like, screw it, man. I'm gonna keep growing this thing out, and now we're at the cornrows part. So we'll see what happens next.
I love it.
I love that. So you just visited. And so for those listening, Brett's sister Paris has epilepsy, and Brett's been a fierce advocate for several years now. And I'm so glad. Did you get to see your mom, April? Was she there too?
Yeah, my mom's was there, and we had a good time. And little man Elijah, ball of joy for everybody who doesn't know, that is my nephew, Paris' son, and we just got to spend some family time. And I don't really get to make it out there that much, so it was really cool to get out there. I think the last time I was out there was like a year, and so to go out there and just spend some time with them. And are you guys cool if I cuss on this podcast?
Oh, go ahead.
All of it.
Okay,
It's
I had
unfiltered.
no idea. I was about to say shoot the shit, but I was like, man, I don't know. But
Oh, you can't
But
say
yeah, we
shit.
yeah, okay, I didn't know.
I'm just kidding. You know, we say, Brett, seizures aren't filtered, so neither are we. So
Yes.
that's
Okay.
our-
Hazy, not crazy.
I love that. I love
That's
that,
our
and I'm
tagline.
so happy I'm so happy we got to do it for everybody. We had planned this whole podcast earlier, and the day it was supposed to happen, I got a call from my agent. I was like, "Hey, can you fly out to Baltimore?" And I got signed that day, so that's why we had to reschedule. So now we're here. But thank you guys for having me on.
Praise
I
the
guess
Lord.
that's an okay excuse. We'll take it.
Hell yeah, it's way better than any excuse I've had.
Right? Me too. Dang.
Fuck that, yeah.
Woohoo!
In a great
All
way.
right. Well, then on that, talking about Paris, and on that note, we're just
And
going
cuss
to kind of
words,
dive
yeah.
right in. And we mentioned this Brett's sister, Paris, has epilepsy. So, Brett, tell us about that. Tell us when epilepsy first became a part of your family and your life. And just, I don't know, give us like,
Backstory.
listeners, everybody, a little
Backstory.
history. Yeah.
Yeah, the backstory.
For those
of how
that
we all
don't
got
know, I
here.
suppose.
For how this is all.
For everyone who didn't see the ESPN documentary
I forgot about that.
piece,
I forgot.
Yeah.
It's
I didn't.
crazy. It's crazy how
That was
much
a
how
good one.
far this has come. Yeah, it sure was. but for everybody watching, me and Paris, my sister, um, she started having seizures when I was 8 or 9, and she was 9 or 10, and it started just she had her first seizure when we were getting ready to go to school, and that sort of led the journey to now where we're at now. And when it initially started, a lot was going on. And how far do you guys want me to give the whole overview, or you
Yeah,
guys?
go ahead. Yeah.
All right.
I mean, you can make
She
you
started
can.
having seizures.
Yeah.
Yeah, she started having seizures when we were about 9, or she was about 9 or 10, and didn't know absolutely anything about seizures. I mean, I was a little kid. Parents didn't know anything, and it was going through the process of high school and everything like that, and helping her out. Again, didn't know much. We were learning as we went, and it wasn't until I got to LA with UCLA, and just barely let something out. As far as this is the first time I ever let something out with my sister, and epilepsy. I just said something briefly, very briefly, in an interview, and it sparked everything. Media outlet picked it up, and we got contacted by the Greater of Los Angeles Epilepsy Foundation, and we started working with them. And then that was the moment for us where our story, Paris' story, really started being told, and we started meeting great individuals, Andy, Shannon, Nate. I mean, it's crazy. People don't know, but like we go way back, like to those days, like way back to the big brain that you walk through at the Rose Bowl. Like we go way back. So
Yeah.
that was probably the first time that Paris felt, Paris or any of us felt a sense of community and a sense of being able to talk and go through this journey with others in this going through the same thing. And Paris finally felt able to open up and share a story, and one thing led to another, and I'm sure we'll get into all that stuff. But that's really the how it started, and well, I'm thankful I'm on the podcast now.
Yeah, it's so funny that you say that because I think I might have been one of the first ones that picked up on whatever you said, like on the media. And then, I'm like hitting Andy, my husband. For those of you that are listening, my husband also played football at UCLA. And I said, babe, can you talk to Coach Mora at the time? I was like, you got to talk to this guy and see if we can talk to Brett. And anyway, somehow it all ended up like here we are. I mean, all these
Yeah.
years later. So great.
I remember
Crazy
that.
how it comes full circle.
Yeah, God bless that, Shannon. I remember you're talking about the brain. I remember actually being with the four of you right under that. It was like your freshman year, right? And just you,
Probably.
Paris. It was because I remember we were doing
Was,
media
yeah,
too, and like nobody was like really around or really kind of paying attention. And then I remember a couple tailgates, 4 years later, not even 3 years later. It's just like completely different. Just like he's got the crew rolling with them, and being in that spotlight. I know everyone's so grateful for you using your platform, Brett, and your sister as well, and helping get and build even a stronger community and setting a really positive, amazing example through that. I think this may be a good time to touch on how your sister Paris was also an athlete and a track star, and of course we know this story, but can you talk about some of the limitations she faced as a result of that and how she overcame those?
Yeah, the biggest really is when she first started going through figuring out, medicines. It's not, and again, for everybody watching, it's not that you just get one medicine and then it just cures all be all. Like you gotta, like it's just the start, and then you figure out over time what works, what doesn't, what the side effects are, because those are big, and how you can handle those sort of side effects, and what can be done to maybe prevent or lessen the side effects. One thing for Paris was, her hands started shaking really bad, and taking all those medicines, it made her tired. I mean, you got to think she's getting overloaded with bunch of medicine, and now, I mean, she takes this. positive is not overestimating. 10 to 20 pills a day, just to control, her seizures and everything else that goes with it. So it took a while to get there. And so for her starting out with one, she was an awesome track runner. She was faster than me. I will give her that back then. But
snap!
I'll give it to her. She was fast. We all ran track together. But it just to see her from my perspective, like have to abruptly stop, sports, and to her it was her passion. And so to see her stop that or have to stop that because of epilepsy and going through the battle of trying to find, the right medication or the right concoction, it was a lot, and it was a lot for her to be able to stop. And then, life changes quick once you get diagnosed. So it
Hell
was,
yeah.
we didn't really spend too much time in the hospitals, but once the diagnosis happened in that first seizure, it was countless days in the hospital for her. It was hundreds of shoulder dislocations, concussions. A lot comes with it. Life changes fast, and we all had to, figure out things on the fly. So, it was just a lot to see her. And it's funny, we were just doing this, which I'm sure we'll get into later, possibly, but we were just recording these reels and talking about her track, history. And she dang near broke down crying when talking about the track. We did this filming on the track at Chandler High School where it all sort of began. And you could just tell, that's her passion and that's what she truly loved. And, her life is where it's at, and she's doing amazing now and has a son and taking care of him. But, it is hard to, be on this path and then completely have to take a left-hand turn, a 90-degree angle, and go a different route.
Cool. So when you raced her, when she tracked, you said you admitted she smoked you. She smoked you. Was that with or without braids?
No, that's without braids. So actually, my aerodynamics would have been better if
There we go.
I would have probably been so much faster. I'm thinking about keeping these till camp too and just rocking them.
You should, man. Go with it. Just do it.
I know. Why not? Cheers to that.
Oh man, you did that. We were supposed to. So originally we were gonna have Paris and Brett. Was it Paris's birthday? Brett being the amazing brother he is. I think they went on a sibling trip to Miami, and that's where we'll cut to these pictures right here. Probably not. Probably not.
Great trip to Paris. I'm sure you can't remember. It was a great time. Yeah, great time.
Dude, that's it. So with your experience, being in the NFL and stuff, I'm curious to know, like you've been really intimately involved in epilepsy advocacy and stuff. Do you see and there's this, with traumatic brain injury, TMI, there's also the CTE, which a lot of people don't really necessarily talk about, but have you ever seen seizures prevalent in the NFL, or do you have any experiences that you can expound upon about that?
You know what's crazy? I'm telling you, until Paris had a seizure, it's to me it's like the arrow in FedEx. You never see it, and I don't know if you guys can pull up a clip, but you never see it because now if you guys pull up this clip and edit this,
I got you.
We're gonna destroy all the freaking viewers because now you're gonna see this arrow, and it's like that was what it was like with epilepsy. It's like you never noticed any, until you know it, and then you started talking to people, and then it's like, oh, you. And so it was never too much in the football world. I remember vividly. In Chandler High School, we used to have a kid. I forgot his name, but we would be practicing, and he would have a seizure, but it would be such a short seizure that we would be going through warm-ups. He would fall, have a seizure, get up, and finish the sprint or the high knees or whatever. So it was so quick, and that was the first experience that I had with it in football. And then once we got to once I got to the NFL, wasn't around anybody at UCLA that had them. And then once I got to the NFL, another great friend of mine actually, I came with them into Green Bay, and he started having seizures in his sleep. But this was like, I mean, he had never had them before. This was like 20 some years old. Then started having them in his sleep, and then after that, we actually started talking to him with Sam and stuff like that. But then after that, retired, and now is doing amazing things in Atlanta. I just saw him last week, but I never noticed it, but now seeing this and things, so it's crazy to see sort of individuals that I know personally sort of go through this, especially in the NFL.
Wow, that's so scary.
Yeah. And didn't
in the sleep.
I am drawing a blank right now. To Chicago's quarterback, Justin Fields.
Oh yeah.
He has epilepsy as well, and I know, and that's the hard part in the in football world. You don't nobody wants to talk about having seizures because one,
Sure.
it's probably going to put you at a disadvantage with your doctors and your physical and stuff like that, and then two, your coaches might not think they can rely on you because you might not be there for a game if things happen, maybe the morning. So there's so much to so in the football world, people don't want to talk about it, and if they have them, they for sure want to throw it under the rug.
Has any so not even okay? So backing up here, obviously you have a huge platform and you're using it, and so you kind of touched on when you started using that platform, and maybe tell us a little bit more about why that's so important to you. I mean, because of your sister, but a little bit about that, and for those listeners who aren't aware too, you just recently received major kudos from the NFL for its major community service recognition, and I'm wondering, does anybody? So nobody ever really comes up to you and says anything like, "Hey, my sister's got epilepsy," or this or that. I don't know how. I mean, I'm
Now,
just curious.
No, yeah, I get that quite a bit, and a lot of that really comes from social media. So I'll get that, but in the
Okay,
locker room, yeah, but in the
not
locker room, it's not much. I've run into
sure.
far and few between that players will come up and say, hey, I've run into a few, but a lot of the times, I'm telling you, it's one of those things that just players aren't too. Oh, and the sense, I think the biggest thing is what we figured out, especially Paris, is when we were, when she was growing up with it, when I was seeing it, witnessing, we didn't really talk to anybody, because we didn't know any better, and maybe it's because Paris felt shame. There's a whole bunch of identity stuff to work through when you actually open up to saying I have epilepsy or my sister has epilepsy, and there's things that you really have to be vulnerable about. I mean, you're allowing people into your life, so a lot of the times in the locker rooms, you don't necessarily get that vulnerability with players or with their family or their internal life. That is
Sure.
them opening up and saying hey, this is what's going on, and I know you're an advocate for it, but these are the things. My sister might have it or my brother. So it's not too much.
Yeah. Well, which makes sense. I mean, this is your job. You're there. You're working. It's kind of
Yeah.
Yeah, time
right.
and place, right? Yeah, just
seriously.
I think
it really is.
all of us that aren't in there in the locker room kind of have a more glorified, we're all holding hands and singing Kumbaya, and maybe that's
it's literally like work.
Hold on, I want to hear what
right.
Shannon's point of view is on what goes on in the locker room.
I mean, you don't know what I'm thinking, so you don't want to know. I'm just
Epilepsy Unfiltered. Here we go. We're gonna get canceled.
After
Shit.
dark.
Just a couple bros chilling out in the ice tub. So, fuck those seizures, right? Yeah.
well.
What's funny? What's funny? And I always look at interviews that were dating. There was these back in the day, back when I first got in the league, you could come in interviewers and stuff could walk into the locker room. I mean, as soon as you're done with the game, you're walking in. You got interviews, and I mean, it's not like players are, dressed. I mean, you're getting out the shower. You're this. There's ladies in there, and now there's a grace period. So everybody, but
I thought it was still like that. No.
No, now there's a grace period. You have a certain amount of time before the people can come in. But like when I first got in the league, you'd be getting out the shower and there'd be a mic right then and there. And I mean, people would be naked. I mean, it was. I'm sure the ladies, the interviewers loved it because they were in there.
For sure.
So tell me about. Hell yeah, I remember at Ohio University it was like that too, and I remember just randomly a bunch of recruits just came in, just like it was just open. Yes. I was like, "What's going on?" You know, it's like
I mean, you got people, trying to get dressed, and
you should just stand there buck ass naked, and then do your PSA for epilepsy.
Yeah. Oh, that's what Andy would do for sure. Right. Andy would love that. 100%. Who doesn't want to see this? You know, that's exactly his. I don't know anybody who really.
That's so true.
So true, right?
Okay, I got a new PSA for the Hundley Foundation, guys.
Yes,
we'll do it. Oh man, that's a much needed laugh. I just realized we haven't actually just really introduced your sister here real quick. So I got some pictures, Brett. I don't know if you've seen these yet.
Let's check them out.
And yeah, audience, this is going to be a blast from the past. Hopefully, this is tell us about this one, man.
The dashiki.
Yes.
Going back to my Black Panther days, baby. Yeah. You know, that's I just watched that movie. It's one of my favorite movies. That is my mom, my beautiful mother. That is Paris in the middle. She is, and for everybody, she's a year older than me. And that is my big-headed self without braids, but you couldn't see.
Still got that forehead, I see.
I sure do, man. Honestly, I didn't notice it for the longest, but now I really do. But I don't even know where this picture was taken at. But man, where you get these photos? Paris had to send these to you.
I mean, I got my ways, man. I don't know. Okay, that's I'm digging. I give this, what do you rate this one, Shannon? I mean, you got the family together. It's so beautiful. Cute. Yeah.
We'll
rate that so cute.
Any pictures with I love it.
I can see the look in Paris. I bet you she used to beat your ass. Look at that. Look at that.
Oh, for sure. People don't realize growing up, I didn't talk. Paris used to talk for me. Like that was how close I did not speak. I didn't really say many words. If somebody asked me something, Paris would respond, and I'll just sit there until I got older.
I can see that.
I'm not lying. That's literally how.
I can totally
100%.
See that.
Like 100%. Like that is. I promise you. Ask Paris. It's how you sort.
Would she scrap? Would she scrap for you if people picked on her brother? Hell yeah! I already know.
I can see that.
Yeah. That's not a. Look, that is one thing that people know. Paris in Arizona. Yeah, she used to throw down.
Oh, I'm sure she still does. There we go.
Shout out to Boxing Paris,
I love that.
Shout out to Boxing Paris.
Miami Reds. Okay, so speaking of Paris, I think I recognize her here.
Yeah. That is us right there. So I'm on the left. That's me. That's Paris right there with the big, with all the teeth missing. And that's my cousin. Shout out to CT, Christian Taylor Campbell. That is him in the middle. And we grew up together, and CT is 11 days younger than I am, and it was. I mean, CT. I mean, even though he's a cousin, he's a brother. So that was a good family photo. I feel like my top two teeth in that photo is out, but you just can't see them because I feel like this not good quality photo.
Yeah, this one's blowing up.
So cute.
Well,
I love that.
Yeah,
CT's got some shiners here. This one's adorable.
You sure do. Oh, look at the six pack! Wow, I knew I was gonna. I knew I was gonna be a prime athlete when I grew up.
Yeah,
but that's Paris. Again, I don't even know where the heck we were going on. We had to be going swimming. But,
I mean, maybe the pool or something.
With my physique, with my beautiful physique right there, and that's Paris. Man, I'm telling you, it's crazy looking back on these photos because it's like. I mean, time goes so fast.
It does. Well, then
really,
this will
so cute. I love
this will really get in the vault right here.
Oh man, this is
wow.
This is back in the day. It's funny. I look at this photo and I'm not even sure if that's me or Paris. I think it's me. I'm just going off of maybe because it's blue, but I don't know. It could be Paris. It could be me.
This could have been
It
the
might.
gender
I
Wow.
think that's
reveal party.
Paris.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, seriously,
Wow.
I think that's Paris. Because if I was there, so this had to
You
be Paris because I would have for sure been in the picture if I was in there somewhere. But that's my pops right there. That's my mom's. That's Paris in his arms. I'm guessing because I'm not in the photo. And yeah, that's taking it way back. Damn, time goes fast. That's
that
the
your
that's the
mom
original.
and your mom and Paris
Yeah.
look a lot alike. I don't think I ever
Oh yeah.
really.
Like
Wow.
yeah, that's the original. I want to say America West. If everybody remembers America West back in the day,
Oh yeah.
Mm.
now America West then merged with, and my mom's a flight attendant, so she worked. She was like the first class of America West. That was the logo on my dad's shirt right there.
Oh, was
But
that a regional
yeah,
jet on the
now
West Coast?
That.
I
Oh, look
it
at
might have
that.
been, yeah.
Oh.
No, I want to say it was still America West. Now the company is American, so
Mm.
they did a bunch of mergers, but now it's American. So she's been flight attendant for a minute now.
Yeah.
Wow.
First,
All
yeah,
right.
man,
That
it's
was
taking it
awesome. You
way
got any
back.
more,
I don't
Nathan?
know. I gotta text Paris. Yeah, I know. I gotta text Paris. I'm gonna be like, man, you're giving away this gold content right here. These baby photos.
Yeah,
I
those are
love
beautiful. Well,
that.
we
You
saw,
gotta
I
have to
think
get.
I saw some of those too when you did that great story. It was on ESPN. And God, I remember we also went to a practice with this guy Joey that just like really wanted to meet you, and we did. He came and met you after that practice, and I mean,
Oh
I
yeah.
think I wanted to show those pictures because it just really puts the time in place. Like you said, so much time has passed, and
Yeah,
she's dealing with such a really serious, devastating disease at such an early age.
yeah.
And then, I mean, it's good to know that some things don't change, right? Like your forehead, right? Still looking at that. it's,
Boys.
it's still good. That's all I'm saying. It's like I find that very comforting. I think it's just
And
I'm
people,
so
everybody, I'm getting
Yeah.
these braids out tomorrow.
Yeah, and then you need to.
I'm not
I love
kidding.
it.
blessed.
So tell us a little bit, Brett, about the Hundley Foundation.
Yes.
Maybe
Oh man.
when it was started. Why don't you tell all the listeners and viewers a little bit, kind of, we know about your history with epilepsy, kind of how it
Yeah.
started, and tell
So
us why you and Paris and your whole family, what led you, to start the Hundley Foundation.
yeah, that's Sebastian running in the background, you guys. But when we started the Hundley Foundation, it was 2019, 2020, 2020, I think. So relatively new, but we had been working really close with at that point the National Epilepsy Foundation. So we had been working with the LA chapter, and then once I got drafted to Green Bay, we started working really close with the National Epilepsy Foundation, and we started meeting some amazing people: Sam Estes, Rick Harrison, Danielle Moran, like just met everybody, and me and Paris started talking, and we've always said we sort of wanted to start something like a foundation, and really the point of starting it was to make sure that the things that Paris went through growing up and the things that I witnessed her growing up, as far as not feeling the sense of community. I mean, back then, growing up in Arizona, there wasn't a big community of epilepsy, at least to our knowledge. There was so much missing as far as being able to communicate with somebody else going through the same battles that they were, and we wanted to make sure that the people battling with this, or the new individuals diagnosed with epilepsy, didn't have to go with that. We want to create a sense of a family, a community, a team, and then one night we were just talking, and we said, let's create this foundation and let's see where it goes. And so we started the Hundley Foundation, and that was really the basis of everything. We wanted to create a family and a team of people in a community to where people didn't feel alone, to where they knew that going through this, that we could bring everybody together. And it was a family, we say it all the time, and I like to say it. Paris is on the same track, but like it's the Hundley Foundation, but it's the Hundley name. We wanted to just create a family. That was the biggest thing. We wanted to where everybody felt a sense of community, love, and to where people really felt that they could be vulnerable and open about what they're going through. And then we also wanted to help out, whether it be autism. But we just wanted to give back, and I think that was our biggest message. Starting this foundation is really hitting home with creating that family and that atmosphere with the foundation, and then just giving back, no matter where it is. Whether that again be the autism or just giving back in whatever field we see fit. So that was really the base and start of why we started this foundation, and now we have grown, and this would be a great time because. If not, Nate can cut it. But we're introducing our new CEO, Shannon.
Woo! Ow! Let's go! Let's go!
I'll take it. Yes.
So
ladies and gentlemen,
I've been waiting so long. I know, ladies and gentlemen, seriously, and we are so, especially as a fan, we're just so thankful. And again, we sort of talked about it before, especially our relationship, Shannon. But I'm just happy we're able to say this and put this out there. And we're so happy to have you leading the charge now. Me and Paris were just talking about it actually when I was with her this weekend. And it's that sense of family. And from literally from the first person we probably met when we were giving our story at UCLA, and really to bring us into the Greater of Los Angeles chapter of the Epilepsy Foundation to now, leading the charge for that, it's crazy to us because it's this is all we wanted. We just wanted that sense of community. We wanted that sense of family. We wanted people we knew and could really trust, and it's it's perfect. There would not be anyone better. So we're just so thankful and just happy for the pod, for you, family, everything. Seriously,
thank you. You're so sweet. I'm so excited too. And Andy and I were talking, and for everybody listening, Andy's my husband. Again, I already said that sooner, but it really has kind of come full circle. And that was the part,
yes.
And the things that Andy and I in our lives are really passionate about are, epilepsy, football, kids, and giving back to the community. And it's just all right here wrapped up in one at the Hundley Foundation. And it's perfect. It's the most perfect fit just for me and for my family also. So we're super excited.
Oh,
cheers
awesome.
to that.
Cheers.
Cheers. Shout out to High Noon.
Shout out.
Yeah. Cheers to that.
God, that is a mind trip.
It is great. And it's crazy too, because I remember before you accepted, me and Nate, when we were in Vegas at the Poker Run, were discussing it on outside. We were at the Airbnb, and me and him were just chilling, and we were just sitting there talking about it. And I told Nate, I was like, all right, don't bring it up to her, because we don't want to throw her off and stuff like that. Because Nate was gonna say something, and I was like, no, let's not say nothing, and we'll just call her and see. And it's crazy. So we're thankful. Everybody was so juiced to make this transition of you being the CEO, and me and Nate were the first people sitting there talking about it. So we're happy, very, very happy.
Well, I'm excited, and I'm excited. I think there's great things have been done, and there's a lot more good that can be done, and great things are in store for the future. So I'm super stoked. How's that? But wait, I want to, you guys, let's touch on real fast though, the Poker Run. That's something that you both have done. We talked a tiny bit about it at the beginning. Tell us about it. Tell us what it is. And I've never been, but I don't know. Give us some. We know you work with Rick, and Rick's real close with the Hundley Foundation. And he's, I think, going to be our next guest on the show. Is that? I don't know. There was talk at some point. He's going to be a great
Yeah.
guest.
Oh yeah,
So whenever
Yeah.
we get him,
He
is that
he's
the
he's
plan?
gonna
hundred
he's
All
gonna be
percent.
right. Well,
awesome.
tell us a little bit, you two, about the poker run. What you do, and who comes and who it benefits, and all that good stuff.
Yeah, I'll start it off a little bit. For everybody who doesn't know, Rick Harrison had epilepsy, and so that's one of the things that is rarely known, but that's how he got started with the Epilepsy Foundation, and one thing led to another. He's been always doing this poker run, and the idea of it, especially insurance wise, is a lot of bikers going bar to bar with a police escort, and then you finish at a bar, and then you just keep drinking, and it was phenomenal. I mean, he's been doing them for multiple of years, and then when he actually came on board to the Hundley Foundation, he really, I mean, and I thank Rick all the time, because he, especially people in his position, individuals, time is really sort of sacred, and he gives so much of it to the foundation, and has always been from when he said, he's coming over, and he really became almost pretty much like the face of the organization, and he really put his time, which is huge, and his efforts behind it. And the poker run, again, a lot of bikers. I mean, 1,000, 2,000 bikers line up in front of the pawn shop, and they ride around to different bars, and then finish at his bar, at his shop, and the benefits all go to the Hundley Foundation. And that we just started doing that with him. So now I think we just finished our second annual with him. I think the third, yeah.
I don't know.
I think
I'm not really sure.
Oh yeah, the 8th annual.
Yeah.
I think he's done it 8 times, but
'Cause
with
it's
the
an
Hundley
8,
Foundation, yeah.
But the foundation, yeah. I want to say we've done them twice now with the Hundley Foundation.
And Rick is such an amazing spokesperson. I mean, he's really dedicated.
Yeah.
He is so ready to jump in. And, over the years in the advocacy world, you don't really get that from everybody. I mean, it can be, yes, I'm sure, like just a no strings attached. Like, hey, man, I'm here if you want me to do anything. Like, how can I help? He really rises to that level of anything. Say what you mean what you say. And I think it's really interesting. As I understand it, I don't know if it was the History Channel. His background was really interesting about how he kind of didn't go out, maybe wasn't the most social guy, and would just read. And
sounds like Rick.
Yeah, just learn more about history in this. And I will bring up something. He recently lost his father, and we were able to establish the scholarship in his honor, which was really cool. And my favorite, and kind of a segue into my favorite part about Vegas, we were doing a tour of the pawn shop, and we had the old pops. His car was there. They took sort of the protective cover off. I forget what year and make that was, but total just really cool moment to see that. And I saw Colonel Sanders, a Kentucky Fried Chicken Colonel Sanders in the back. Yeah, shout out Kentucky.
Dude, Rick has been the man, and
He's a real one.
scholarship that we were able to create in honor of his father. It's $5,000 scholarships that are awarded to individuals of spouses of active or retired military members, as Rick Harrison Sr. was in the military. So we just started that this year, and it's been really, really awesome. So we're happy to do that for Rick, and he really appreciates it.
Awesome.
Yeah, I think at the event we had at our house, he said he was an honorary board member. So I said, okay, that's awesome.
Yep.
Boom.
Yeah, Rick is Rick, and I want to bring this guy up because he has done so much for us, and I always want to give him a special shout out. Is Kenyon Drake? He's the running back for the Oakland Raiders, or the Las Vegas Raiders. Sorry, the Las Vegas Raiders, and it sort of goes hand in hand with like Rick and the amount of things that he's being pulled to do, but he makes time and effort into giving back to the foundation, and not just not just our fund, but like Kenyon has done like above and beyond everything, and he's been at every poker run. He's donated his time, his efforts, and just individuals like that. You got Rick, you got Kenyon, who really, and Kenyon's on our he's, gosh dang it, what's the
professional advisory board?
Professional advisory board, yeah. Professional advisory board. So it's just individuals like that who really contribute and give back, and it's just been a huge blessing to the Hundley Foundation to be able to have guys like Rick, like Kenyon, and everybody else, like Shannon, Nate, everybody. We got such a good group. Like, this is exactly what it's about.
Hell yeah, the team, baby.
Yes, sir.
It is. I'll tell you what, you were talking. I think my forehead is bigger than yours.
See, but that's where I feel like the hair always helps, because when no braids, like, it sort of dangles a little bit, so you don't really notice how. I never noticed.
I do. I have a big forehead, though.
Well, you're looking fresh, both of you.
Well, thanks. I just,
Nate,
my
Nate,
forehead's
take
big.
off the hat.
Got a big one.
I got the biggest of forehead.
Yes.
Yeah.
The biggest of forehead.
It's a big forehead club right here. Want to join? Anybody want to join? Let us know.
The BFC.
Yes.
It sounds way cooler than it actually is. You want to be part of the BFC?
Seriously.
Commemorative memberships to the BFC. Drop a link in the bio. Smash that subscribe button.
Yeah.
So we're all BFCs, but let me ask you this: for people having seizures, like Nathan and I, Paris, we're kind of in one club, right? We're in we have seizures club. And you're not. You get to watch people have seizures, and tell us what that's like for you. And tell us what it's like to watch a seizure, and then maybe for any of our people that are listening out there, what advice would you give to people that are watching seizures? And then also, you're a sibling, and do you have anything to say to the other siblings of people that have seizures, siblings of seizures?
That works.
That's a great question, because it's two like completely different things. Because it's like when somebody has epilepsy, it's like them and what they're going through, and then it's the relatives, the family, the people sort of watching them go through this. And for everybody out there who's never witnessed one, I'll tell you, you probably don't want to witness one. It's not nothing you want to remember. I'll tell you that. And the biggest thing that I say that is, a lot of the times, at least in my cases, it's somebody, I care about, love. It's my sister going through this stuff. And so I remember the first one, I've gotten so much better with witnessing a seizure, because from the first, when I thought she was dying, and running around my room praying as a little kid, to now, you learn, and it's just one of those things that you got to know. I would say research, especially as a caretaker, or somebody watching an individual go through them. There's small things just to touch on. Making sure you keep people out the way. There's no hard or sharp objects. When people are when somebody's having a seizure, you want to make sure their head is, there's so many different things that you learn. I would say, especially as somebody who's sort of witnessed my sister go through that, it's just, I don't know. All I think about a lot of the times is I guess anybody who's witnessing the seizure is just making sure they're okay, and that's not just specifically while they're having a seizure, but even when it's done, because you still have to make sure they're okay. You still have to be there. And I mean, when they wake up and come to, a lot of the times parents would have no idea where she's at, no idea what's going on, and if she hit her head, she could be out, for a while. And there's just so much more that goes into making sure she's okay, not just in the moment, but after it as well. And that was one of the biggest things that I've always tried to do for Paris, and make sure she knows that no matter what, waking up, in the hospital plenty of times for her, that I was going to be the one person that would be there and help her out through it. So as a person looking, it's a different experience, and it's one that I've had to learn and go through, and it's different. I guess to me that's the easiest way to put it. It's just nothing. It's hard to explain. It really is to watch somebody you love go have a seizure.
Sure. Well, and I think what I hear you say too is that the more times, unfortunately, but like I suppose with anything, is that practice makes perfect. And the more times you go through it as you're watching it, the better you probably get at dealing with it. It doesn't necessarily make
Yeah,
it easier, I suppose, but you just get better
yeah.
at handling it.
I'm not gonna lie. I've probably seen a good amount at this point, but like I still to this day cry. Still to this day, can't help myself. Cannot help myself. So that's why every time Paris, if I'm in the room, she knows as soon as she comes to, I'm probably crying somewhere.
Yeah.
Probably like walking like around the corner to make sure nobody sees me, and then crying, and I'll come back every single time.
Don't want to cry in public for sure. Nah, dude, it's hard. Yeah, and we know how you feel, and it's hard. I've seen this girl I worked with. I saw her have a seizure. Worked with her for like 3 years, and that was one of my first seizures, and it hit me, dude. I had to walk in the hallway. I'd worked so closely with her. Yes, I knew she had epilepsy, knew she had seizures, but had never seen one. I don't see myself have seizures. I saw her have one. I honestly lost my shit. I had to pull the girl in the hallway, just 10-second. Oh my God, what the fuck was that? Just let it go. As Elsa would say, let it go. So
Yeah.
that's important. But
I always wondered that, and that was a question I actually thanks to Nate, I just asked Paris recently. Was as somebody growing up with seizures and stuff, you never see yourself as a seizure. You just see everybody else's reactions when you probably wake up and everybody's sort of tripping out. But like, what was it like when you? And this is just my. I'm actually curious. Is like, what was it like when you guys first saw somebody have a seizure in front of you, rather than you guys experiencing it? I guess Nate, you just answered it, but Shannon.
I think for lack of a better word, it's gnarly. I think
Yeah.
what Nate is saying is that there's a moment of it's like, wow, that's what I do. And
yeah,
because we don't
Yeah.
see it, you don't really think it's that bad. And I think one of the things about having epilepsy that's obviously so hard for people with epilepsy is that lack of control. And
Yeah.
the idea that we just want to be like everybody else. And then to
Yes.
see somebody else have a seizure and be like, I look like that, like that's it kind of puts us like in another headspace. It's like, ooh, I don't want to look like that. I don't want to be that person. I want to be this person. And we've done it all. And I don't know if Paris was ever, I know Nate and I have, gone through the whole, oh, we're not going to take our medicine phase because we want to be able to do everything that everybody else does. But the reality is, if we want to be like everybody else, we have to take our medicine. Because if we
Yeah.
don't, then we're going to have seizures and we're going to be so not like to give us the best chance at being whatever our normal is, we have to
Yeah.
follow these rules. But I think that's it. I think it's like, I think with epilepsy, there's such a broad spectrum. There's people that are, nonverbal. In wheelchairs, they can't do anything, to
Yeah.
super high functioning. And for me, for a long time, to be on the same spectrum as somebody else like that was really hard because I'm like, I'm not that person. I'm not that person. And then the reality is, it doesn't matter. We all have epilepsy. We're all different people. But like when I was a lot younger, it was really hard because I thought, and this is why there's a stigma, because if you tell people you have epilepsy, they get a certain idea in their head of what that's like, and you don't want to be like that. I don't know how to explain that either, but it's like I don't want people to think that I'm, that I don't know, that I'm cognitively challenged or this or
Yep.
that, or, you know, uh, just because I have epilepsy. And
Yep.
so then, I don't know. It's a really, I don't know. What do you think, Nate?
No, I totally get what you mean, and then it just made me think a little further down that rabbit hole of having seizures, sometimes being semi-consciously in a post-ictal state where everything, and people look back at me with those
Yeah.
very physical looks,
Yeah.
kind of
Yeah.
like really shocked, and I can't control anything, but I can hear. And those
Yeah.
images of people over the years waking up having seizures, like how they look at me, is definitely burned in my head. So, like the few seizures I've witnessed, it's taught me to just be as calm as possible, whisper in their ear, "Hey, I'm here, buddy. It's cool."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not
Right.
like instead of, "Hey, oh fuck, man, are
Right.
you okay? Oh,
Yeah.
hey, Billy, get a spoon for this motherfucker.
Right.
He sees it,
Yeah. Or call the cops. He's on
Yeah,
drugs.
yeah.
Yeah.
He's been snorting the Chi-Chi again. It's just
Yeah.
like,
Right. Yeah. And that's important to say too, for sure. For
yeah,
sure. Now,
just being
but way
calm.
back, yeah, 100%.
So yeah,
A
that's a
hundred.
great
It's so
question, Brett.
it's
But
so
yeah,
it's so crazy because like as you guys like I'm it's like I learn and stuff like that, but we had just shot actually Nate was helping us do it. We had just shot this reel talking about what is everybody's sort of goal to be steps seizure free, or what does that look like to you? And one of the things that I had asked Paris, that me and Nate were discussing, and Paris had no idea we were going to ask her this stuff, but we were shooting a real series, and on this part, she had she didn't cry the whole time. She almost cried on the track, but like this is the one time she actually broke down talking about the stages of like working through the identity of having epilepsy in people, and trying to be in her eyes normal like everybody else, and just wanting to be like everybody else, and this was the one thing, and I'll never forget it because I mean again I'm always learning, especially through her eyes, is like that was the one thing she broke down and just bawled on. So to hear you guys' stories too, I mean, it's a lot.
Yeah. And I don't think that ever really changes. I mean, or I think it's always kind of there, right? No matter where
Yeah,
you go or what you do. And there's still that, it's still just there. I mean, it might not affect us as much, but it still kind of sits right there on my shoulder. I know, right? I
yeah,
feel like a little bit.
yeah,
yeah.
I don't know.
totalmente, totalmente.
Altamente. So,
Well,
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 I have another question. This is just, because everybody wants to know. You're not gonna probably be playing football forever. And
Yeah.
so what are your plans once you say la vie to football, and what are you what are your some
Uh,
of your hobbies? What do you like to do, and you think you'll do anything with those
yeah.
hobbies? And so tell us about that.
Heck, heck yeah. I have a plan right now to play. I. It's crazy saying this, but I'm 8 years in the league. I am. I mean, I don't know how to say it. Like, I'm young. I'm 29, but like in the NFL, I'm old. I am really old. And so it's funny. I said I want to play 3 more years. I want to play through 10. And then what I really want to do is I have a lot of stuff real estate wise going on in Arizona, with a property management company, short term rentals, and a little bit of turtle stuff, but primarily is real estate. I do some flips and stuff like that. So I really actually found a passion doing a lot of that stuff, and I'm stoked to do it. But my true passions are traveling, cooking, and photography. And once I leave, and actually, I will talk to you about this in 3 years, Shannon, with the foundation. But once I leave and retire from football, I do want to travel, and I want to leave the country and live abroad for about 2 to 3 years. And that has been a plan of mine since probably during college. And I get a passion from each of my parents. My father is a big cook in my family. My mom is a flight attendant, so that's where my traveling bug. And then I sort of picked up photography along the way. But once I retire, I do want to get out and just try. There's so much to see in this world, so much to see, so much to do. And one of the things I want to do uh, with even the foundation is while I'm traveling, do one thing. Like I'll go live in maybe Brazil for 2 months and do a big event for, maybe do something in each country that I'll go to, whether that's doing something in the favelas of Brazil or
Wow.
building a well in Africa, just stuff like that. I have a huge aspiration to do something like that. So once and actually I just talked to I'm gonna put them out on blast, Tracy. She's a president of the NFL players, and one thing they're starting to do is expand abroad with the NFL. Now they actually have a game in Germany. I want to say
Yeah,
this year.
right. Yeah.
Yeah, so they have a game in Germany, they have a game in Mexico, they have a game in Europe, and one of the things I just actually reached out to them to do was to spearhead their operations once I retire in their abroad approach. So joining
Oh,
forces,
that's
and,
cool.
yeah, everybody asks if I want to coach
Super
after the
cool.
league, but I don't think I want to specifically coach. I would coach quarterbacks, maybe abroad. That's one thing I also want to do as well, is create like coaching camps, quarterback coaching camps abroad, and whether that be in Japan, Europe. There's not many coaches that are coaching this game abroad, so I want to. I have a lot of things I want to do, but those are probably the biggest things that I find passion and I'm set to do it.
That's
Nice.
awesome. Yeah, that's great.
So
I like that abroad
so
operation thing going on. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, I
super
love
excited
that.
for it. Super excited
So
for it.
tell us of all the places that you visited, and I just saw your post, or you did you post it or you reposted that woman that had visited all those countries, that like every single
Jessica.
country, that book? Jessica,
Yep,
that's so cool.
Jessica.
I want
Yep.
to get that book.
Yeah,
Um,
she's been to every single country in the world.
every single
Every single
country in
one.
the
What the
world.
fuck?
Amazing. I
Yeah.
couldn't believe it. And
Crazy.
I know you're probably not that far behind. No, I don't know, but you've been so many places. Where's your favorite? What's your favorite? What's your like favorite
You
city or
know,
favorite
I
country or
it has. I tell everybody this. There's a difference in every place I've been. I've been to 40 countries, so I'm way behind Jessica, way behind. But I will catch her or tie her because I'll never be able to beat her. But I would say the coolest thing I did, or the favorite place I've been to, I went by myself. I'm a huge solo traveler. I love traveling, just me and my backpack and my camera. But I rented an RV in South Island, New Zealand, and I drove the whole South Island. Just made a big circle, and it was like a 2 week trip dang near, and it was the most beautiful. It's really hard to explain. It was where I found so much out about myself, what my thoughts. I mean, I had so much time just to you know just dive deep into who I am as a man, and the things I was able to see on that trip. New Zealand, North Island is great, but like South Island is really beautiful. Like I couldn't even explain, because like the water looks like a movie. The mountains look like. I mean, I remember I was driving and I randomly looked to my right and there was a massive lavender field, and I
Okay.
went there and just like, I mean, some of these places too. I mean, I would. It was that beautiful where like I would shed a tear. Like it was that beautiful. I mean, I would go to this lavender. Dead serious, man. Dead serious. Like I went to this lavender farm. Had the best ice cream of my life. Lavender ice cream, fresh from the lavenders. But New Zealand, and I did the. If you guys know, have you guys ever seen the people in those massive balls, the plastic balls rolling down the hills?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that
yeah.
started in South Island, New Zealand, and I went to that place. I did it. I went. Have you got? There's this cave in New Zealand. I forgot what it's named, but it's glowworms, and the butt of the worm glows in the dark. So like you go in these caves, and
What?
these are massive caves, and they're just, it's literally lit up there, and it's completely dark. But the caves, and it's these worms. They have a silk to them, and they hang from the top, and they glow this like sort of luminescence glow, and
Oh
they're
my
just lined through the whole cave. And this thing goes so far back. I mean, I did that.
Oh, that sounds beautiful.
There was so much stuff to do in New Zealand, and it was just one of the coolest trips I've ever been to. But you talk about New Zealand, and you talk about going to the Holi Festival in India, which is completely different type of trip. But like it was so much embracive and learning the culture of a place that everywhere is like unique. Like I had the best pizza of my life in Serbia, Belgrade, Serbia, random. At night, like 1 o'clock in the morning, random. It was like out there. And again, I was probably a little drunk, but I was by myself. I was stopping through Belgrade, Serbia, and I was like, let's go out. I was staying at a hostel. Let's go out, have a good time with the people in the hostel. Walking back, and everybody there was walking around with this pizza box, and I was like, man, where the heck do you guys get this pizza box? And I love hole in the wall places. They were like, look at this hole in the wall right down the street. So I walk over there, and it's this pizza. It's like a wood fire pizza, but there's like all these different sauces on it. You could put I would say like Alfredo or different, but it was like all these different sauces, and it's not the actual pizza sauce. It goes on top of the pizza.
Oh,
That's
good.
And he froze.
Right there on
pizza.
top of the pizza.
I'm gonna Photoshop a piece of pizza falling down his face right here.
Yeah. Oh, that would be. I have one more question.
Oh,
But maybe he's answered it.
Brett, what was the question?
I want to know the best thing he cooks, because he loves to cook.
Okay.
And then his favorite food.
Hop on.
Coming from a foodie. So I think that. What do you think? Wonder if he's found any good
he did say that was the best pizza. Yeah, I think
best pizza.
I
If he's
think
found
we
any
asked him
good
what his best
restaurants in
food is,
Baltimore yet.
and let's see if he can hop back in here real quick. Okay, so I just texted him. Okay, here he is.
All right,
Here we
that was
go.
perfect.
All right, and he's back.
Oh, we got you. That was right when they put the sauce on the top of the pizza, and we're like hanging on every.
Yeah, Brett.
And then
Please
what?
tell me there's more to it.
Sorry for the dial-up here, you guys.
All good.
That was
Shannon
perfect.
actually has one more question.
I do. So I was like, oh shoot, I
can-
have another
yeah.
question. And my question is, so what's the best thing that you think that you cook? And then what's your favorite food? Like
Man,
you're on death row, you get your last meal. What is that last meal?
That's a hard one, because I would say on death row it would have to be like a good like homemade meal. My pops was making it. It's like grilled chicken, ballistic beans, family recipe. Y'all got to come and try it. We'll cook for y'all. And cornbread, greens, sort of like the Thanksgiving black edition soul food throwdown. Like I'm gonna get as fat as I can. I'm probably gonna sleep, and they can go ahead and cut me loose at that point. But the best food that I cook, I would say, I really love making Italian food, you guys. Like no joke, chicken parm. If I really put my foot in it and take some time, like I really got to take some time. But if I have the time to do it, like Italian, good chicken parm, or I always, what I'm saying, I'm black, gotta make some mac and cheese, some chicken, some beans. I love cooking, like just good down to earth food, and it puts some weight on you. So that's probably my go-tos and everything.
Hell,
Both
yes.
sound so good.
Yeah.
Italian food is my favorite. Andy doesn't eat.
See?
He tries. He's like, I don't like carbs, so we always eat Italian. When he's done.
Oh man,
Brett?
see, we gotta do something. Yeah, you guys gotta come, and I'll cook for all you guys, and I think that'd be fun.
I'm so down.
We're there. Done.
Put a little butter in that. Brett Allen,
Yeah.
Hundley Jr. It's been so great to chat with you, man. Thanks so much for coming on. And
Yeah, thank you. This was fantastic. I loved it.
Thank you guys.
Woo.
Seriously, this is amazing what you guys have going on. And again, last cheers to you guys.
Yes.
All right.
You guys are amazing, man. You guys are amazing.
Shout out. You definitely got to come back on and give us just the updates, man. Maybe here in a couple months, whatever's going on. And then, especially after some of these more travels, we'd love to hear straight
You guys
from
let me know. I'll do the next podcast wherever I'm at in the country, wherever
There
the
we
next
go.
country is. Let's plan
Let's
on
do
that.
Oh, that would be amazing.
Let's do
All
it.
right.
That would be cool. Actually, you know where that's going to be? This is the next podcast. We're planning it. The next country I go to is Running with the Bulls. It's actually going on now.
Pamplona,
but I
Spain.
plan on doing it next year. Yes, I've been saying I want to do Running with the Bulls. So the next one, I'm going to be FaceTiming you guys running from the Bulls. That'll be
you're
the
running.
That'll be
Oh
the
my gosh.
No joke. Yeah, I'm going to do it. And I'm going to be dressed up in the outfit too. The stripes.
Oh, we're going live on this one.
that
We're
in
going
your
live.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, right?
It's probably not, but, it's after. We'll talk about it later.
We'll ask, forgiveness, not permission. How's that?
We'll ask later. As long as I don't get ran or trampled by a bull, I think we'll be good.
I think you're good.
Thank you guys again. Yeah.
All right.
Thank you guys again.
Shannon and I are going to do a recap. It was so good seeing you, man. We'll talk soon. We'll catch up next week.
All right. See you guys. Appreciate you guys.
Bye, Brett. Thanks.
Out with my braids. See you guys.
Bye.
Oh man, what a treasure! What a fun catch up.
I love him. He's just the best. He's such a great guy with a good heart. And like, I'm old enough to be his mom, and it's just
No,
you don't find that many kids. He's a kid to me, that are so
too.
he's a kid. He's my boss, and he's solid. Like he is. Just he's got his parents raised him right. I'll tell you.
A lot of great perspective.
Amazing people. So
I just want to see. We'll get Paris because we were gonna do with Brett and Paris when they're in Miami, right? And have Paris on too. So we'll get Paris later. And it's just been a logistics thing, but really solid guy. Congratulations again. I'm so excited for more Hundley Foundation stuff, and he got to tell us a little bit about that. Woohoo!
Yay, thank you.
And all that coming full circle, like he was talking about the brain at the Rose Bowl, and I just have so many vivid memories of actually turning around seeing you and Andy and then Brett. Because I remember specifically because it was the first time we had blown the thing up, and there wasn't getting enough pressure in the baffle system inside, so it was like caving in on everybody.
I remember that. Oh my god! I forgot. Oh my gosh, that's so funny.
We didn't have the cards set up yet, and
yeah,
that was fun. Awesome.
That was
so we got Brett, being the ever gentleman, just sent us a text. So
all right.